What makes it a fantastic dessert? I am so glad you asked. Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming or for coming back. Today I am going to show you how to make chocolate mousse, a truly fantastic dessert. What makes it a fantastic dessert? I am so glad you asked. So first of all, it is chocolate, very important. Second, it is a chilled dessert. I would argue that some of the best desserts are chilled. Third, you can cover it in whipped cream and fruit, which is really just a great thing for any dessert. And last, a little bonus reason is that it uses extra egg yolks. Now, if you are someone who bakes and someone who bakes a lot of meringue or meringue buttercream, then you will know that we love anything that uses extra egg yolks. So now that we are on the same page and agree that chocolate mousse is amazing, let's get on to the recipe. All the ingredients are below if you want to make this with me. We are going to start by making a sort of creme anglaise. So we are going to pour our milk into a pot and put it on the heat to come to a simmer. And while that happens, we are going to beat together our egg yolks and our sugar. So we're going to beat this with a hand mixer because we want to beat it on high speed for about 2 minutes or until it becomes really nice and light. It will be pale in color and fluffy, and when you pull your beaters out of the mixture, it should fall off in a nice stream or ribbon instead of just falling off in drips. Once our eggs are all nicely beaten, our milk should have come to a simmer. So we are going to slowly add the warm milk to our egg mixture while whisking. Now this is called tempering the eggs. It is something that you do when making pastry cream, lemon curd, Italian meringue, and we do this so that we don't end up with scrambled eggs. So make sure that you're whisking constantly while adding your hot milk. Next, we are going to add the whole mixture back into a pot and we are going to put it back on to heat around medium, and we are going to heat it while whisking constantly, and we want to see this thicken. So this isn't going to thicken dramatically, but it should get thick enough that it will coat the back of a spoon. So once it has thickened at least a little bit, you're going to take it back off the heat and add it to a bowl. Now, if you're worried that you might have a little bit of scrambled egg going on in there, then you can strain it out, but I didn't strain it, I just poured it straight into the bowl because, as you can tell, I like to live life on the wild side. So now we are going to add our chocolate. For this, I just used some semi-sweet chocolate chips. Something darker like this is going to give you a much deeper chocolate flavor and a much richer mousse. If you want something a little less intense, then you can go with a milk chocolate. Now we are also going to add our vanilla and our salt. And all of the heat from our warm cream is going to melt our chocolate. So we want to let it sit for just a minute or two so it will warm our chocolate through. And then we are going to stir it until everything is nice and melted and combined, and we have a nice smooth mixture. Now we are going to leave this to cool to about room temperature before whipping our cream. If we added this hot chocolate mix to our cold cream, then the cream would melt and we wouldn't end up with a fluffy mousse. So you want to make sure that that is about room temperature before you start working on your cream. Now here I have a nice chilled bowl, and to that I'm going to add my cream and I'm going to whip it by hand. You can use a hand mixer if you like, but we're just going to whip it until it is nice stiff peaks before adding our chocolate. Now do again make sure that your chocolate is not warm or hot before adding your cream. You can check it by feeling the bottom of the bowl or even just by touching the chocolate mixture. I like to add it to my inner wrist where I can sort of gauge the temperature. And if it is a nice temperature, then we can add our cream. Now, the way I like to do this is by adding about 1/3 of the whipped cream to the chocolate mixture to lighten it up, and I'll fold that in until it is almost completely combined and then I'll add the chocolate to the whipped cream. We want to fold this really carefully because we don't want to get rid of any of the air that we created in that whipped cream, because that again won't leave us with a fluffy mousse. So once everything is nicely mixed together, we can portion it into our serving dishes. If you have anything fancy, some sort of fancy dish or fancy bowl that you want to use, then this is the time to use it. I just had some regular glasses, and just go ahead and divide this into your dishes or glasses or whatever you have. Here I decided to pipe it with a French tip to be fancy, but you can just pour it in or spoon it in if you don't want to dirty a piping bag. And the number of portions that you get this will totally depend on the size of your dishes. I happened to get 5 out of this, and I had a little bit extra after that, so just because I decided to pipe it into some empty cream puffs that I had lying around. So now all of our mousse is going in the fridge to chill for about 2 hours. This mousse doesn't have any gelatin in it, so we don't have to wait a super long time for it to set, and that also gives it the extra little bonus of being vegetarian. So 2 hours later, my mousse is all ready, and if you feel like it, you can just eat it like this. But as I said before, one of the things that makes mousse such a fantastic dessert is that you can smother it in whipped cream and berries. Here I just have some whipped cream that I flavored with a little bit of vanilla and sugar, and I also have some fresh strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries. This mousse is so tasty. It is so nice and creamy, and I really love the berries and the cream just to sort of help add a little bit of extra flavor in there. And honestly, these are just so tasty, and in case you were wondering, the choux that I put the mousse in were also amazing. So I hope you make this. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you next time.